The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
What's good? What's good? What's good with y'all today on this beautiful Saturday, man? Innocent until proven guilty. Y'all see the showrunner at the bottom of me. So, the Art of Dialogue. They're creating phenomenal content right now. You know, I like what Art is doing over there on his channel. He has a lot of great interviews and great conversations over there. And I wanted to highlight one because I seen that the numbers was low, and I don't know if people really gravitated to the conversation like it needed to be. And if people that's on my channel didn't see it, I just want to highlight it and talk about it because Dr. Umar, he was kicking game over there, man. He was speaking about people being emotional, politics being involved in this Diddy situation, this Diddy arrest. And, you know, I'm already fatigued with all of the allegations, all of the charges, all of the new people coming out. There's 12 people that's filing lawsuits against Diddy now. Young Miami is in one as of recently. It was another Latina lady that came out and said that she was abused and things had happened to her in Diddy's presence. And it's just a lot. And I'm kind of fatigued with it, but I think it's educational for people that want to be in hip hop, people that want to be moguls, people that lust for things. And it's just interesting. And I want to play this clip and I want to dive deep into this because could politics play a factor in it? We're in an election year. And, you know, I think that a lot of games be played during the election time to keep people distracted from voting or to vote. It's just interesting how black folks and we deal with our feelings and we're emotional to things and that really doesn't serve us no good. But let me play the clip and then we're going to get into it, man.
The reason he got arrested now is because we're 6 weeks away from the presidential election and Black America was tearing Kamala Harris's ass up looking for presidential accountability. They were all over Kamala Harris. She couldn't answer no questions. She didn't want to do no interviews. And so the power structure said, let's get him right now. We need something we can throw at Black America. We know they're emotional. We know they care more about hip hop than anything else in their community. Okay, what can we throw Black America to get them off of Kamala Harris's back? Let's throw them Puff. And if you notice, Art, ever since Kamala decided to seek the presidential nomination when Joe Biden stepped down, every conversation in Black Twitter, Black Facebook, Black Instagram, Black TikTok, Black YouTube, everything has been about what? The presidential election. Trump, Kamala, Trump. That's all we've been talking about until they arrested Puff. Now go on Black Twitter. Now go on Black Instagram. Now go on Black YouTube. Nobody's talking about Kamala too much no more. Everybody's worried about Puff. That's exactly what they wanted to do. Distract Black America away from the presidential election by throwing them the Puffy lynching so we can get Kamala to the finish line. And guess what? The judges that refuse to give Puffy bail, from my understanding, they're both Democrats. And you know what's so sad about that? Puffy is a very big Democratic Party contributor. He's a very big Democratic Party supporter. And so the very party that Puff been giving millions to and millions of dollars worth of publicity and advertising is the very party that shut him down. This was a favor that was called in by the British people to the American government. He don't know his place no more. Sit his ass down and keep on top of that, Art. Puffy started a black political party called, what was it called? Our Black Party, I think it was, in 2020. After he endorsed Joe Biden, Sean Puffy Combs said out of his own mouth that both political parties keep taking us for granted. They're not offering us anything for our vote. And I think another reason why he was raided when he was raided, Art, was to keep his damn mouth shut.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
That's very interesting because when I think about it and when I think about like politics right now, a lot of black people are like critical of the Democratic Party right now because they put us to the back burner as black folks. They put us to the back burner. It's very noticeable right now. A lot of black men are going to the Republican side. They're seeing value in what they have to offer. It's not necessarily about Trump or Kamala, but Kamala has been in the office the last 3 years. The border is open. They're giving more funding and things to the migrants with our tax dollars. We paying for this foolishness. When you look at the war in Ukraine, which they have contributed over $300 billion to of our tax dollars that we don't agree to. We looking at it like now, why Kamala? Why will we vote for Kamala? What is she? And then she's pandering to the black community and she's not even black. Candace Owens, Judge Joe Brown has exposed her. She's been exposed. And when I think about it, not that we saying that, you know what I'm saying, Trump is a good person. He is who I'm voting for. He is the guy. But to think about it, it's interesting because you see the Young Dolph trial is a distraction. They want to get black people distracted. You see they bringing this Puffy situation up and that's all everybody's talking about. People forgot about the political situation. They're trying to keep our minds off of the foolishness and the repetitiveness that Kamala Harris is doing and saying and how she's speaking in interviews and stuff. She's just repetitive. Not bashing the lady, but what does she have to offer us as people? And she already said that she's not going to do anything specific for black people. You know, they'll do something specific for Asians. They'll do something specific for the LGBTQ community. They'll do something specific for the migrants, but they won't do nothing specific for us. Now, let me get back to Diddy. So I remember Diddy had the campaign, like, I think it was 2020 or 2016 with Vote or Die. Democrats. He was vouching for Obama. He vouched for Biden. And then all of a sudden, Diddy created his own party. You know, he started speaking for the black people. Not saying that he is not guilty for the allegations and he shouldn't be locked up. But he started speaking, saying that these politicians ain't for us, they ain't doing nothing for us at all.
And it's called Our Black Party.
Okay.
It's time for us to have our own black political party, unapologetically. Because right now, if you look at the debates, we're not even a part of the conversation.
Not at all.
We're not a part of the conversation. We don't have any political power. We don't have any political leverage. And so we started Our Black Party with some young, fearless black activists, elected officials, and I've stepped up and put the money behind it. Mm-hmm. This is the biggest threat and the only option that we have right now as far as making a change, taking our own self-responsibility and accountability to be educated and empowered with our vote.
So what's the goal for our Black Party?
Our Black Party's number one goal is to unify behind a black agenda. Mm-hmm. That's it. Mm-hmm. You could be a part of the Democratic Party, the Republican Party, you could be an independent, but if you're black, you wasn't born Republican, you wasn't born Democrat, you wasn't born independent, you was born black. Mm-hmm. And we have to seize our political power because it'll just be more the same. Being pushed this way, being pushed that way, and we expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. But the definition of insanity is like doing the same thing over and over the same way, expecting a different result.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
You know, the most interesting thing that was said to me in that clip, and I salute to Puff for creating that for black folks, getting elected officials and individuals to become a part of something that could get us to even to attempt to get us to unify for an agenda for us. To me, that's my biggest problem with our race as a whole. We can't unify for a sandwich, let alone for an agenda for politics. We can't unify to come together for nothing, to build each other up, let alone an agenda for politics. So I think that was interesting because we deserve something, man. And they got him during this time with those minimal charges. Those three charges to me was weak. But I see they're bringing more things upon him, bringing more charges up, more allegations, more lawsuits. And they're just going to milk him for all of his money. Not saying that he wasn't a nasty boy, but they're going to milk him for all his money. But did they get him right now so he wouldn't speak about anything political? They silenced that man. And that man had created something for black folks to unify. You know, it's hard to create something for us to unify, man. It's hard to, even the attempt at doing that can get you killed, can get you demonetized, can get you hurt. Trying to attempt to get us to unify for anything, you know. And if you got skeletons in your closet and you got things that you're hiding and you're trying to do good at the same time, they don't look good to them. They like, oh, we got to get him up out of here. So I was watching C-SPAN yesterday, right? And it's a guy by the name of Marcus Allen. He was a former FBI agent. He's a whistleblower. That's what they call these people that start talking too much. Whistleblowers. And he has something to say about the direction that America is going and what the people need to do in the process of voting and getting themselves prepared for the unknown.
And everybody in the minority party, they're fearing what Donald Trump would do in the next administration while they sit here and they look at the guy who's been persecuted by the FBI. And everybody in the room understands it. Mr. Allen, do you have comments you wish to make? I'll give you about a minute and a half, and then I want to turn the rest of my time to Mr. Jordan.
Yes, sir. I would just say that I consider the hearing today my last act of service as a public servant for the United States of America. And I'll give you my professional opinion. I was an intel professional for our country for many years, and I would give recommendations, and I'd also look at indications and warnings. So I would offer this to the American people as my warning to them. Since this is a warning to the American people, I say, I personally have no confidence that the FBI will rein in its own conduct. I've been persecuted along with Garrett, Steve and Kyle, and countless other whistleblowers. It is my opinion that the Bureau used reprisal and fear to control the workforce. It has been a seemingly effective tactic. I personally believe that there are no current effective checks and balances against them conducting lawless action with any type of correction in a legitimate time frame. I welcome the work of the IG, but I think any type of lawless action, there's no legitimate time frame to rein them back in. Their ability to overclassify information can allow them to stonewall forever. To the American people, you have a duty as a citizen to vote, and I strongly urge you to do so. It's how you participate in the American experience. I know people have doubts about election integrity, but you must vote. It is your claim. Stake your claim and don't forfeit it willingly. Have your voice heard. My other recommendations are in the natural order. First, vote. The second is the Second Amendment. Arm yourself and know how to defend yourself. Make 3 to 4 friends in your neighborhood and promise to come to each other's mutual aid in times of hardship. And during the Great Depression, people stocked up a pantry. So I think that's a good practice, especially in our economic times, and make sure you have 3 to 4 months of food. And as a person of faith, I'd say pray the rosary, go to the First Friday devotions. That's for everybody, all my brothers and sisters of all faiths, and I know I'm Catholic, and read the gospel of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and live it every day. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
It's like I look at Mayor Adams in New York just now being indicted. At one point in time, he was with the agenda. Then he went against the agenda. That man, Marcus Allen, he just basically told us that we shouldn't have no faith in the government of the United States to look out for the people's best interests. That's interesting. And we shouldn't really have had no faith ever, but it's so noticeable and it's so blatant now. When you look who stands with the candidates of the president of the United States, it's none of the governors or mayors from the big metropolitan cities. We don't see Mayor Adams with Kamala Harris. We don't see mayors or governors of Chicago, Illinois standing next to Mayor Harris. We don't see no people from Houston, these migrant cities and stuff, standing next to her. It's because they see what's going on and they're not obedient to the agenda that the Democratic Party is portraying what they want to be done. And she ain't going to stand next to them. When you think about Trump, not saying ain't none of them people standing next to Trump. Ain't none of these parties unified. So if their own people that's in politics with them, they're not unifying with, what makes us think that they're going to look out for our best interests? But we should vote, and we got to vote. That's interesting to me, man. That a whistleblower like that would say something like that. Stock your pantry up, pray, get your guns together, because something is coming and these people ain't looking out for our best interests. Let's get back to Dr. Umar, though, because he's talking about the court system is not a place for revenge. It shouldn't be a place where you get revenge on somebody.
So when you hear me say, I don't want to see Puffy Combs, Dr. Umar, my brother Art, I don't want to see nobody go to jail for something they didn't do, is rooted in the criminal injustices that we as black people have been suffering from in this country for 4 sentences. I have no special loyalty to Sean Puffy Combs. I don't know him. He's never donated to my school. We never talked on the phone. It ain't got nothing personal. Don't tell white people that you don't care about justice for black people. The court is for justice. It is not for revenge. If we want to hold a tribunal for Puff, let's do it. If we want to convict Puff, let's do it. But you don't tell your enemy that you can lock up one of mine and throw away the key, even if you can't prove he's guilty, because white people have done that for 400 years. Look at Vince McMahon, Art. Look at Vince McMahon of the WWE. Vince McMahon was accused of and sex trafficking, okay, multiple times, allegedly. This woman says that Vince McMahon forced her to have sex with different men, different women. He defecated on her head. He defecated on her head, and while she was covered in human feces, he forced her to continue to engage in sexual trafficking.
You know, I looked around on a lot of platforms and I see like a lot of black men, they like, you know what I'm saying? Like they are defending Vince McMahon and they defending Hugh Hefner and people that could be guilty of these same charges, but they have emotional ties to Puff and they don't want to see nothing good happen for Puff. They don't want to see him come up out of this because they have emotional ties to it, because they think he did something to Tupac. They think he did something to Biggie. They assume he did something to a plethora of individuals, but they don't have no proof of that. Nobody has presented proof. Not saying that I'm defending Puff Daddy. I'm just defending right and wrong. You know, if he's guilty of anything, he's guilty of the Mann Act of 1910 for sex trafficking. And that law was created not for the best interest of, you know what I'm saying, black people, because they can hinder a person by flying a woman in for something consensual that she wanted. She wanted to take that flight and come to you and get paid to do something consensual. Why is that a crime? That's a crime to hinder black folks. And a lot of these laws and crimes was created to hinder black folks because they don't want to see us winning. They don't want to see us having a good time. They don't want to see us celebrating and living life in the same light, in the same way that they doing. Not that I'm racist, because the white man ain't my enemy at the end of the day, but I know what's going on. Y'all know what's going on. Vince McMahon and Hugh Hefner could have been guilty and tried of the same charges that Diddy is being tried and accused of. These people wasn't children. Cassie stayed for 10 years. No disrespect to Cassie. She stayed for 10 years. She was obedient to the situation. If you wanted to leave, you could have left, dog. Real talk. You should have left. But I think it's a revenge thing. I think those people, Diego, was mad because they lost the lawsuit. You know, they lost that lawsuit because of racial indifferences. That's what Diddy sued him for. And when he won that lawsuit, they didn't like that shit. I think that they paid for Cassie's lawyers so she could get the money from Diddy. Who paid for her lawyers? She didn't have the money to pay for those type of lawyers, no $1 million lawyers. Who paid for those lawyers? I think it was Diego. And I think that, you know, they came down on him and when he was weak. When he been doing wrong. We know you've been doing wrong. We know what's been going on at these parties. We know you've been having all types of illegal activities going on for decades. But now we're going to take our hands off for you. And we ain't going to defend you no more. And all of these things are just going to run rampant because you don't want to be part of the team no more. That's the same thing that I think could happen to Jay-Z. You know, when you're obedient to those people that put you in those positions, they'll protect you so you can keep making money for them. Once you're not obedient no more, they ain't going to protect you no more, and then your life is over with. So is it actually worth all of that money doing all of those sins and all of those wrong things to obtain those finances? You know, it's an agenda. It's a lot of rappers been complaining about the agenda. Me and Guy, we did a podcast last week and we talked about this topic, but I want to go deeper into the topic. I want to go back to it. I want to touch the topic again. Rappers exposing a demonic agenda. I just want to play the clip and listen to the artists. I hope y'all listen to the artists deeply at what they saying, and then we're going to talk about this.
We get paid to rap about that stuff. They actually pay us more when we rap about more ignorant stuff, so I make sure I even align and come talk on stages like this.
Man, I was flooded with millions of dollars from the time I was 16, and I woke up one morning, I was like, damn, they got me. Man, look at the shit I spoke about, look at the shit I put in these people's ears. Man, I feel very wrong about a lot of things. How many lives I actually am responsible for when it comes to my music? How many kids and people have gotten in a car or put this shit in their ears and actually went hurt someone? And now I'm sitting back like, damn.
It's weird. I've been having these weird feelings lately, and that's kind of why I didn't want to do this song, Shake It, or like any drill songs, because it's like these songs are activating like these demons that I killed. I don't want to be that girl anymore. Like, I just want to be a mother. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that old Cardi anymore.
I want to be a city girl.
She ain't gonna be no city girl.
So Summer ain't allowed to be no city girl?
No. I want her raised totally different. Like, you know, I don't even want her to even see the light of day like that. Like, I really want her to just be like, you know, like level-headed, a schoolgirl, and just on a whole nother way.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.
Meek Mill said they pay us more to talk about the dumb shit. NBA YoungBoy said did I really do this to my people? Did I really affect my people? Did I really do these things to hurt my people? Cardi B said, I don't want to do these songs no more. These songs are activating demons. Young Miami said, nah, Summer can't be a city girl. We contribute to things that I don't want her to be a part of. I want her to be a good girl. She can't be a city girl. So to obtain the level of celebrity that they have obtained, what do they have to do that? You know, in this internet era, things are being spoken about and things are being put blatantly in our face that we see and understand differently than we did back in the days when it wasn't no internet, when we just got the music and we didn't see these people. But then we may hear them on an interview and heard them cry out for help. I've agreed to something, man, that I don't feel is contributing to the well-being of the people, and it's activating demons in my life that I don't want in my life no more. That's just interesting, man. Let's get back into this conversation with Dr. Umar, man, and his take on Puff being arrested.
People say Dr. Umar has been defending Puff. If Sean Puffy Combs is guilty of sex trafficking, he should go to jail. If Sean Puffy Combs is guilty of engaging in anything illegal, I'm slow, Art, because I'm saying that the prostitution piece, if somebody wants to get paid for sex, although I don't agree with it, I don't agree he should go to jail for that if it was consensual. So I'm hesitating on the prostitution charge, because if they did this of their own free will in exchange for commerce, even though prostitution is illegal in every state except Nevada, I can't see somebody going down for prostitution when it was a consensual arrangement. The RICO, if he kidnapped people, if he burned people's houses and things down unjustifiably, I could potentially see that as well. But my thing is this. You have black people saying that even if he's innocent of the federal charges, he should go to jail anyway for stomping out Cassie. He should go to jail anyway for taking advantage of people. He should go to jail anyway because we think he has something to do with Big. We think he has something to do with Pac. We think he has something to do with a lot of bad things that went on in the music industry. Here's what I say to that. If Sean Puffy Combs is guilty of the murder of Tupac Shakur or Christopher Wallace directly or indirectly, he should go to jail. But only if it has been proven, Art, in a court of law beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was involved. What I cannot support is black people telling the racist white American criminal justice system that you can lock up one of our own, even if they are innocent, even if you have not proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that they committed the crime, you can still engage in corruption and lock up a black person because we hold them accountable for other crimes that have either not been proven or have thoroughly disgusted us. In other words, Cassie being stomped out by Puff was wrong.
You know, I got one more topic, then I'm gone, but I want to say something. Since social media has been created, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and all of this, people have been coming on platforms and making it easy for the police, doing their job for them, telling on themselves. Also, you have people just snitching like it's no tomorrow. And they don't even care. People don't have no empathy at all for no human being's existence. So with that being said, folks have come to agreement that if the internet say he guilty, he guilty. With no proof. if the mass of people say that he's wrong and he did something wrong, he's wrong with no proof. How would you feel if that was you? Real talk though, how would you feel if that was you? If the mass of people say that you're guilty of something that you may not be guilty of. You may be guilty of it, but they don't have to fight it no more because they got all of us on these platforms spewing foolishness, telling. And you got people willing to tell because they want attention and get likes, and they might get 1,500 for this interview and that interview. That's foolishness, man. Not saying that Diddy was wrong and wasn't wrong in the things that he did, and he may deserve a life sentence for the things that he's done. But damn, y'all gonna make him guilty before the court do. For the for the charges that they got him for, people will say he's guilty. He's guilty for more than that. He killed Pac, he killed Big, he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that, and they don't have no proof of none of it. But y'all so emotionally tied to a person that y'all don't even know, which is a sickness. Being emotionally tied to people that you don't even know, that, you know, y'all make the job easier for those people. That's crazy. I'm going to get into my last topic, though. I usually don't, you know what I mean, look at this lady's content or listen to her interviews, but she said something about birds of a feather flocking together, and it caught my interest.
If Jay-Z is friends with R. Kelly and does business with R. Kelly and parties with R. Kelly, if Jay-Z is friends with Diddy, does business with Diddy and parties with Diddy, if Jay-Z shot 3 videos on Epstein Island with supermodels that were under the age of 18 that were provided by Naomi Campbell,
and signed the Harvey Weinstein.
like I said, you didn't realize you were saying, but it's a very, very, very old adage. Birds of a feather flock together.
That's what I just got through talking about. Like, Jaguar Wright, she goes on platforms and she speaks about everybody. She speaks about everybody. That right there, that was interesting to me, though, because he has shot a lot of videos on Epstein Island. He has been in business with a lot of these people. He does have albums with R. Kelly. He did let Puff produce American Gangster and been to a lot of Puff parties. But does that automatically make him guilty? You know, in my lifetime, I stood by a lot of people that didn't have the same ideology or the same perspective or the same thought process, or they wasn't on the same type of time that I was on. But when I realized that and I got smarter, I removed myself from them people because I knew that they didn't mean me no good and they didn't have my best interests at heart. I don't want to say that Jay-Z's guilty for any of the allegations that they got against him, but the internet and the black race and your own people will make you guilty before the FBI does. And that's crazy. You're innocent until they prove that you're guilty, but they got to prove it first. It ain't our job to prove it. Real talk. I hope y'all was entertained by this episode, or you may have learned something. Thank y'all for tuning in to my content, man. Let's further the discussion in the comment section. You can cuss me out, tell me I was right. You can tell me I was wrong, or you can get in the comment section and say, Trev, I really enjoyed that thought process. But that's just my thoughts, man. I appreciate y'all, man. Peace, love, plenty, abundance. Make sure you go get you some money, and I'm gone. Chill.
I can't let the time pass me by. I just want to be with you. I can't let the time pass me
so hard. $1 million is minimum. The killers, I'm sending them. I prevailed from hell. Didn't need no riddling. My rivals apologize. They know I'm the middleman. The head honcho, get to it pronto.
Go check out the music, fam. Real talk. Chill.
Yeah.
There we go.
Talk to him.
Yeah.
Talk to him.
Let's do it.
I woke up, got my hair plaited by my big sister. Known in the streets as the neighborhood pusher. Riding in that coupe, had to pick up my youngin'. He told me chasing $1 million, then ain't doing no frontin'. I told him I know that feeling when you gettin' that money. I had to get my car washed by my favorite junkie. Respected in the streets like that boy Big Meech. Headed out to Cashville to holler at Reeds. Real talk, ain't nobody fucking with me. When I'm in LA, I tap in with Hop. I didn't have to check in cause I'm like fuck the ops. I put it on my soul, I know that hating won't stop. I could never look at you pussy niggas this comp. We know them fake diamonds that you wearing is props. I only do the VVs, go comb at your BBs. Them niggas wanna be me, but really they can't see me now. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. I had to get me something. I came up from nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. If I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change nothing. I had to get me something. I came up from nothing.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.